Hello YouTube and welcome back to Fire Gaming Project. So in this short video, I'm going to do a Xinyan review. Why am I doing one? Because she's actually going to be coming up for the Childe main story quest for 2.2. It's her and Childe in the main, as we saw in the preview for 2.2. That's the main art as well, the cover art. So that's why I wanted to just go over this character. Now I do want to point out that this character is actually not that popular and she does not work well with many team compositions. However, she can be strong to use and is a pretty okay character actually overall. Unfortunately though, there are better pyro characters out there, but regardless of that, we should still look into, some review options for this character, and especially if you're free to play or early game or new to the game, she would still be a pretty good character to have overall. So here we go. I'm going to focus only on her, so the other characters in the team don't matter. They're just there for supporting for this purpose of this dungeon. Also, I was just farming this dungeon anyway, so I just decided that it would be a good fit for her in this case. The reason why I chose to do a dungeon example in this case and not a boss example is because I feel like she has more utility for the supporting purposes and not so much where you would bring her to like a boss battle. Yeah, so here we go. I'm going to show you her build, well, at least how I built her. So she's only 70 out of 80. That's kind of typical for the way I'm playing. I'm only going for 70 out of 80 for most support characters and characters that I don't plan to use long term. I don't want to invest too many resources in them, but I feel like 70 out of 80 is like kind of like the bare minimum to make them a viable character. I'll be honest with you. Some of them, I know some people say that you can get away with 70 out of 70, which means that it's the previous ascension, the fourth one. That would be the absolute bare minimum, but that would assume that you have decent artifacts. But we'll see. So 70 out of 80, I think for the most part is like a bare minimum. Okay, oh, and here are her stats. So she is not really stacked up, just so we're clear, because I didn't give her any good pieces. I did not farm any pieces specifically for her. She just took whatever pieces I had left over from farming for other characters, okay? And I think that's typically how you should build these support characters that you don't plan to use long term either. You shouldn't spend too much time farming for them or building them. Um, yeah, so she can be good with physical damage as well, but I use her specifically for her pyro aspect. I gave her the prototype archaic because I don't want to give her any other weapon that's like a 5-star or anything. Again, I wouldn't give anything really awesome to a character that you wouldn't plan to use long term. So yeah, but prototype archaic is a decent craftable weapon that you could give her. Now, she does not have major energy issues, but you could be okay with giving her energy-related weapons such as Favonius Greatsword or Sacrificial Greatsword, right? She does not really do so much reaction, so I would avoid the Elemental Mastery one, so Rain Slasher is out. She could do well with Lithic Blade, but you would need at least 3 characters from Li Yue to make this good, and also you would need this to have higher refine, so at least 3 and up, in my opinion. Um, this one I would skip, Snow Tomb Star Silver for physical damage, although if it would be physical damage, but it's okay. I wouldn't say it's the best. And there are, like I said, if you're doing craftables, I think the prototype is more universal. The bell, we can just skip talking about that. Unforged, obviously, is still a good weapon for most claymore users, so if you want to, you could give that to her. Wolf Greystone, of course, is good, and Song of Broken Pines, of course, is good, so we can just skip all of those in terms of talking about them. The luxurious Sea Lord Fish Claymore is good on her as well as the Black Cliff Slasher as well. So she is, again, very universal, especially when it's a support character that you may not use that often, then it should be okay. In terms of builds, like I said, she can do a physical build or a a pyro build. So that's what I did with her. I gave her like a pyro build and then a physical build, as you can see. So I just, again, those are leftover pieces. This is just whatever I had that had some crits on it and some attack percentage. It's just, and I picked sets where I don't plan to care, like I don't care about the Maiden's Beloved, so then you just give that to her. Like, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I built this character. I just gave her whatever. And for support characters that you don't really plan to use too much, you don't need to fully invest in them. You can just, so this 20 out of 20 piece was probably inherited from another character. I forget who. Usually I keep them around 16 out of 20 only. Yeah, and then sometimes if it rolls and it gives you that bonus, sometimes it goes a little bit over, but then otherwise I try to maintain 16. So yeah, of course, Constellation is C6 in this case. She's been around for quite a while now. So we'll just quickly go over these. So basically, yeah, this will increase her attack speed and her normal and charged attacks by 12%, only after she scores a crit. So you could make sure that she has above 50% of crit rate. The higher the better, like 60 or 70 is preferred. Yeah, physical damage has crit rate increased by 100% and will form a shield at shield level 3. So yeah, with her shielding talent, which we will talk about, the more enemies you hit together, the better the shield is. This is just +3 levels. This one is her damage decreases the opponent's physical resistance by 15%. This one's +3 levels. And then the last one is decreases the stamina consumption of her charge attack by 30%. Additionally, her charge attacks gain an attack bonus equal to 50% of her defense. So she scales off of defense as well. She's a split character in that sense. Normal attack is just normal attack. Her E, I believe, is her most useful, but her alt is also useful as well. But basically, this creates a shield, and there's multiple levels to it, as you can see. But hitting 2 or more opponents grants a shield in level 2. Hitting 3 or more grants a more powerful shield, basically, and will deal intermittent pyro damage. And as you get her higher constellations, I think one of these ones, let's see, this one. Shield level 2 is reduced to 1 opponent, so you only have to hit 1 opponent, and shield level 3 is reduced to only 2. So it's just basically lowered the requirement for this. Okay, and then this one, it just creates a little blazing like AoE damage a little bit near her, basically. Her stage, sets on fire. And then the last one, when it's shielded, she'll just deal a little bit of extra physical damage, and then this one is just a cooking thing. So let's get to it, okay? And then on this team, I made sure that she has Pyro Resonance, and in this dungeon specifically, it wants some like electro, so that's why I have Raiden Shogun there. But don't worry, that has nothing to do with anything. So I'm specifically farming resistance because I'm trying to crown my gene. So then you'll see that that's why I chose this team. Okay, Zhongli is not there to provide any damage. He's just going to be there for the purpose of shielding. Raiden Shogun will be there to unleash her E so that it can help proc the simultaneous attack with Xinyan, so that we can try to get some reactions in there. But again, like I said, Xinyan does not really do too much damage in terms of reactions, and she doesn't proc it all the time. But yeah, and then again, Yanfei, sorry, is there for the resonance only. So I won't be really using resonance in this specific video, but what I will do is I will be doing a Yanfei review after this, because Yanfei is on the current Childe rerun banner. Okay, and I will reset this just so that it's always up. So her shield, as you can see, it wasn't as strong the first time, and definitely it's not strong here either. Her cooldown is relatively quite high. So, but she is a solid character, and she, you can make it work, okay? But there are definitely better pyro characters out there and better claymore characters out there. So that's why she would be a placeholder character, in my opinion, not someone that you would want to like keep long term. See? And then so this is a weaker shield because I only hit the one character, the one enemy, right? And then, and I purposely picked this dungeon because it's ice. And she can still do, obviously her claymore can break the shield, but in addition her alt is also pretty decent at melting shields as well, as you can see. So that's one of the things, one of the reasons why I chose her for this demonstration. Reset this. So she's a pretty okay character, and her cooldown again is long. In terms of energy, she's okay. You definitely can stack her up with more energy recharge, like I said in the beginning of the video. But overall, she's an okay character. She's not horrible. And I know that for the English voice acting, this is nothing against the voice actress, okay? It's just that I find it weird that they chose to have a Southern American accent. I get the rock and roll vibe, but then having that Southern accent kind of gives it a country feel versus a rock and roll feel, if that makes sense, okay? So yeah, anyway, so that is that for this video. It was meant to be really quick, so I hope you guys found it useful or informative. Please like the video, please subscribe to my channel, please hit the notification bell, and please, leave me questions or comments. Do you guys use Xinyan? Do you plan to use Xinyan? Do you hate Xinyan? Do you like Xinyan? What do you use with her? What kind of build do you have? I'm interested to know. Yeah, so feel free to let me know, and I'll definitely interact with you. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. The next video will be doing the same dungeon but with Yanfei, so stay tuned. Thank you.